Correct. The purpose is so that the plant can take as much as possible.
And the plant's processing the gas.
So I'll just continue. May average flow for our flare was 0 SCFM. The May average plant flow was 3,329 SCFM, and the total average from the full GCCS system was 3,329 SCFM. Shutdowns for this time were from 5/1 to 5/31, meaning that it was a manual shutdown, while the manual shutdown, so that the plant was running at full time at this time. So flare downtime 7:44, and total 7:44. Plant was taking all of gas. June average flare flows were 3,983. June's average plant flow was 3,505, and the total average for the GCCS flows were 3,564. Downtimes 6/1 at midnight to 6/10:48. Plant was undergoing maintenance. Our flare was active at that time. 6/4 1803 to 6/24 950. Plant was undergoing various maintenance tasks. Then 6/24 through 6/30. Plant was off so that the landfill could take, or so that it could take full plant flow. Total downtime for our flare was 639 hours, total flare runtime was 720 hours, and total overall flare runtime was 80 hours. In Saucon's runtime.
So during Q1, the North Slope Road does not need repairs, and the swell does not need repairs. The abatement system continues to operate and discharge to the city of Bethlehem wastewater treatment plant. Leachate management systems continue to operate as normal, sending all leachate to water and carbon group PFAS facility, which is then discharged to the wastewater treatment plant. For the radiation monitoring, there were 2 radioactive load alarms from April to June of 2025. On April 9th, the load was identified as iodine 131, and the load was disposed of on site. On June 3rd, the load was identified as iodine 131, and the load was disposed of on site. And all loads are reported to Pennsylvania DEP.
Thank you. Okay, my question is back up to the PSAT, those, PSATs. Could you explain sending all leachate to the water and carbon groups?
As far as, so like all the leachate goes, so we have.
That's a plant you built, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Was that the name of it?
Water and carbon group, yeah. That's
Okay.
the other ones that built.
I thought it was another plant.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Okay.
No, the other ones that operate.
Right, so that's normal procedure.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Southeastern realignment construction activities, we're on the southeastern realignment. We've got to change that, we're actually in R1A, and the construction for northern realignment 2 has, and then the complaints are attached to this. And then you have the leachate.
Okay, my post-municipal inspector, my inspection reports, odor observations and nuisance issues. On April 17th, 2025, there was a strong wastewater treatment plant odor detected along Sarsville Road, south of the wastewater treatment plant. Slight landfill gas odor was detected from the self-storage facility to Red Barn Auto before the landfill inspection, but no odor was detected after the landfill inspection.
Scott, just
Yes.
in case people who haven't attended before are watching this, the wastewater treatment plant odor that you're referring to is not related to the Bethlehem landfill, that's for
No,
the
City of
Bethlehem
Bethlehem.
wastewater treatment plant.
Correct.
They're 2 separate distinct odors.
Oh, yes.
And you're on number 5 pages, is that where you're at?
Yes.
Last 4 pages, that's what it says, last 4 pages.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, there were 6 vultures were observed over the working face. A slight landfill gas odor was detected along the eastern and southern sides of the SC2A section. May 1st, 2025, the strong wastewater treatment plant odor is detected along Sarnesville Road west of the wastewater treatment plant. No landfill gas odors were detected along Apple Butter Road throughout Steel City and Riverside Drive. Slight landfill gas was detected along the eastern and southeastern corner of cell SE. No vultures and a minimal starling population were observed at the working phase. May 15th, 2025, the strong wastewater treatment plant odor was detected along Sharonsville Road from Route 412 to the wastewater treatment plant. No landfill gas odor was detected along Apple Butter Road through Steel City or Riverside Drive. A slight landfill gas odor was detected along the northern and southern sides of SC2. And along at the northeast corner of SC2 2B. No vultures and a few crows were observed at the working phase. June 5th, 2025, there was strong wastewater treatment plant odor detected along Apple Butter Road west of the wastewater treatment plant. No landfill gas odors detected along Apple Butter Road through Steel City or along Riverside Drive before or after the landfill inspection. Six vultures were observed. There was a slight landfill gas odor. A slight landfill gas odor was detected along the southern slope of SC2A. June 18th, 2025, there was a strong wastewater treatment plant odor detected west and northwest of the wastewater treatment plant. No landfill gas odors detected along Apple Butter Road before or after landfill inspection. No landfill gas odors detected along Skyline Drive through Steel City or along Riverside Drive. There were approximately 16 vultures at the working phase. The falcon is not present at the time. A slight landfill gas odor is detected along the southern edge of SC2A. Status of action items. April 17th, 2025. The final cap installation between phase 3 and SC2A is still being completed. Additional landfill gas wells to be installed in cells SC2A and B to be completed. Installation of the candlestick flare to be completed. Removal of litter from the southern side along the northern perimeter fence was to be completed. May 1st, 2025, final cap installation between phase 3 and SC2A to be completed. Additional gas wells to be installed in cell SC2AB to be completed. Installation of the candlestick flare to be completed. Removal of litter from northern perimeter fence area was completed. Litter removal from sedimentation pond 3, which is northwest of cell NR1, is to be completed. May 15th, 2025, final cap installation between phase 3 and cell SC2A to be completed. Additional gas wells to be installed in cell SC2AB to be completed. Installation of the candlestick flare still to be completed. Litter removal from the sedimentation pond 3 northwest of cell NR1 is to be completed. June 5th, 2025, final cap installation between phase 3 and cell SC2A to be completed. Additional landfill gas to be gas wells to be installed in the cell SC2A to be completed. Installation of the candlestick flare to be completed. Litter removal from Sed Pond 3 northwest of cell NR1 was completed. Repair of the portable mister at the southeast corner of cell 1A to be completed. Final cap installation between June 18, 2025. Final cap installation between phase 3 and cell 2A, SC2A to be completed. Additional landfill gas wells to be installed in cell SC2AB to be completed. Installation of candlestick flare to be completed. Repair of the portable mister southwest corner of cell SC2A to be completed.
Scott, just
Yes.
again for clarification for people who are watching or listening who haven't attended these meetings before, where we talk about final cap installation and the installation of additional wells, installation of the candlestick flare, where you say to be completed, those are ongoing efforts to complete that work, is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you, just to clarify.
And just quick, since capping is obviously a big thing, the cap installation is complete as of now, so it's done. And growing grass, it's pretty, looking better. The SEM reports, that's the gas monitoring, certain emissions, the gas. The March 27th, 2025 report reported 1 cap penetration and 1 root exceedance were found to have emissions above 500 parts per million. Bethlehem Landfill was notified at the time and placed additional cover material. The 10-day recheck was on March 3rd, 2025, and found 1 exceedance at the cap penetration originally that had the exceedance on March 27th. The second 10-day check on March 13th, 2025, after the additional corrective measures were taken, the emission levels were less than 500 parts per million. And the 1-month recheck on March 21st, 2025, found no exceedances at the 2 locations. April 22nd, 2025, the report dated that April 22nd. March 13th, on March 13th, 2025, 4 cap penetrations were found to have emission levels exceeding 500 parts per million. At the landfill, again, was notified and placed additional material. 10-day recheck on March 21st, 2025, found no exceedances at the 4 cap penetrations. 1-month recheck on April 10th, 2025, found no exceedances at the 4 locations. Report dated May 29th, 2025, notes that on April 25th, 2025, 7 cap penetrations were found to have emission levels exceeding 500 parts per million. Bethlehem Landfill was notified and placed additional cover material. The 10-day recheck on May 5th found no exceedances at the 7 cap penetrations. The 1-month recheck on May 23rd, 2025, found no exceedances at the 7 locations. The DEP inspection reports, April 1st, 2025, noted there were no new violations. Observations in that report, a moderate persistent landfill gas odor was detected along Apple Butter Road between Red Barn Auto and Ringhofer Road. There are still strong gas odors in the southeast corner of the landfill. Some layer and flagging were still observed through the intermediate cover on the southeast slope. Cover was approved on the northeast slope of the southeastern alignment. Some flagging was still observed over the southern section of the upper deck. Upper deck is the very top of the landfill on the eastern side. That's the general area. Some erosion rills were observed near the landfill entrance and over the northeast slope of the southeast realignment area from the previous night's heavy rain.
So I wanted to add, in this DEP report, that there also was an observation of moderate intermittent sewage odor, again, from the City of Bethlehem sewage treatment plant that's noted in this report.
May 12th DEP report, no new violations, observations. Additional cover soil has been added to the southeast realignment upper deck area, but some flagging was still observed. Erosion rills observed during the April 1st, 2025 inspection have been addressed. No landfill gas odors were detected outside the landfill facility. A gas odor was detected in the southeast slope area. June 23rd.
Scott, again, for people who are listening, you can go right to this report and read the details of DEP's
Yeah.
observations. And there are other odors, the UTI order, and again, the wastewater
Yeah.
treatment. So I'll just, I won't continue to repeat that, I'll let you do your thing.
Yeah,
but,
I'm just trying to pick out the, kind of, I guess, the highlights that can pertain. I'm not sure where to start and stop, other than reading the whole report. June 3rd, 2025, no new violations. Number 2, observations, there was a moderate landfill gas odor detected along Epcot Road from Swints to the self-storage building. A light intermittent garbage odor was detected at the self-storage buildings. A light intermittent landfill gas odor was detected along Sherry Hill Road near Appleton Road. Erosion drills near the parking area has been repaired. Continued landfill gas odor in the southeast corner of LSC 2A. Need for additional clear capacity when gas to energy plant is not in operation.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, back on the SEM reports, we have, March, April, May with penetrations. How did the cap get penetrated?
From the gas wells, so where the gas wells go in, so even when we do the capping, you have to,
Gas wells?
no, there's there, but there's booths, so even when they do the capping, the gas wells remain. And so they have booths that they weld together, but as things settle, sometimes the welds will break or whatever, so they have to come in and reload.
Okay, that makes sense, thank you. And then, I wanna use the EP words, but I gotta find them. Scott, when you write this up the next time where it says violations, no new violations, I'd like you to use what the EP calls it, like ongoing, it's not.
Outstanding violations, no violations required. That's
It says, right, oh, no, I got that, thank you, okay. So if that could be added, because, however, the
keep noting
violation
that.
remains outstanding.
Okay, so I can repeat that. That'd be outstanding ones.
Until they're cleared up,
Yes.
yeah. The date should be on there and whatever, so
Okay.
it's not cleared up yet. Okay. And then I have more, but I don't know if it's my turn to do this yet, or,
I'm different.
You're the only member that's here that's not part of the landfill, so.
okay. So, okay, what I'd like to do is read, Stacy, thank you for this. Brian Morrow, not make tonight's meeting, read an email we received today. Hi, everyone. Unfortunately, I will be unable to attend. I switched jobs and my employer has a lot of new responsibilities. Sorry. The one item I wanted to discuss was the increase in garbage truck traffic on Lower Saucon Road. It has increased significantly the past 2 months. I think that is a direct result of 78 construction traffic. What can be done to minimize this again? And then it says the trucks are causing significant road buckling. Trucks are causing significant road buckling on several sections of Island Park, Lower Saucon Road. They also tend to not adhere to the posted speed limits. At some point, I fear there will be a horrible accident. Once again, sorry for not being able to make the meeting. So this is the second time now we've received a complaint. Kathy Fitchell wrote an email about her problems. So what can be done about that?
You probably need to contact Shrine Landfill, because those trucks are going to Shrine.
The landfill is 6 miles away. They also have a designated haul route, and so
I'm waiting for confirmation from Amy. I talked to Amy the other day, but she's pretty sure that that is the route that they're taking. And when this came up 2 months ago, I mentioned that Shrine trucks were passing Bethlehem Landfill. They do not come to Bethlehem Landfill because they have their own company that they go to. So any trucks that are on Lower Saucon, especially Island Park Road, like, there's no reason for our trucks. And then the other thing for this is the road buckling. Empty trucks don't buckle the road because they're light. So if they're buckling the road, that tells me that they're full, which also tells me that they're going towards Shrine Landfill, which is right there from Lower Saucon Island Park.
When he talked about the truck traffic, to say which way they were going, if they were going towards your landfill or going the other way.
Well, that's when in McGovern's email, she's talking about them like they're leaving the landfill, which they would drive past the landfill. And I've got with Main Street closed in Premiumsburg, they're probably going around. And then also too, as I talked to Jay about, they still, if they are empty, they still have to pick up the local trash, which is allowed. And I did drive the area the other day and all the truck companies that she listed, in her email, J&S, Del Garrico, I forget the whole list, but all of them have cans over there for pickup, and especially the J&S is right next, her neighbor has a 3-yard front with a J&S can, so there's gonna be a J&S truck going down Lower Saucon Road. So there's a Lower Saucon police officer at the site today, he sat there for an hour, he didn't see any trucks turn left leaving the facility.
Word must have gone out.
I mean,
Well, that's good.
we're pretty tough on it, I mean, that's something that we watch, I have a TV in my office that has cameras on it, D's all over it, Jen's all over it. Cody's window looks right at the entrance, so between going through the truck wash and turning left, we're all open. So again, that's why even the stuff that she pointed out, they're all local haulers, so they're either going to Shrine or they're picking up local routes.
The record will reflect that.
Yep.
Thanks for passing this around there, Ian. After last night's meeting last night, the June 3rd DEP inspection report was on the agenda, and I had a lot of comments regarding it. And I called Amy Falch this morning, and she responded in an email, which I'll read. It's also CC to Roger Bellis and Rachel Miller and Aston. Priscilla had recently inquired about the line item determinations and the comments for line items number 17, 18, 22, and 52 in the June 3rd, 2025 inspection report. This was my error when choosing the line item determinations when I drafted this report. Line item number 17, 18, 22, and 52 should all be designated as not determined, meaning that the previously issued violations are still outstanding. However, there were no new violations determined during this June 3rd report. The comments for all of these line items are accurate regarding the issuance of the respective NOVs, BLC's responses, and that the violations remain outstanding. I noticed this as well for the May 12th, 2025 inspection report for line items 22 and 52. Similar to my discussion above, these line items should be designated as not determined. However, the comments for all of these line items are correct in the report. I apologize for the errors on this inspection report. So I guess the reason for having this on the agenda last night was to say there were no violations, but as you heard from Amy first-handed, that the violations are still outstanding. So they're still there, they didn't go away.
And I'll clear that up, that a violation will remain outstanding until DEP is satisfied that all of the work that led to the violation has been completed. And as we've explained before, the issues with respect to the southeast corner of the landfill were precipitated by the unusual weather conditions in the entire northeast area. They're not specific to Bethlehem landfill, they're happening at landfills all across the region. We have been in constant communication with DEP about all of our iterative efforts. Recently culminating in the completion of the cap, there are still additional wells to be installed in that area. When that work is complete, and only when that work is complete, will DEP close out the violation. With respect, and that's with respect to the February 2024 NOV. There's a February 2025 NOV, and that was with respect to cover in the area where, not the working phase, but in the area that where regrading was being done in order to address the issues in the southeast corner. And we have had communications with DEP. We disagree with them on the facts and the law with respect to what regulations and cover requirements apply to that area. And we've been in communication with DEP with respect to that, and those responses, the township has been copied on that. So that's why those violations remain technically outstanding.
Well, I appreciate your defense of your company that you represent, but I, on the other hand, represents the township, and I have differing opinions.
That's
I'm not defending,
I'm just clarifying.
I'm
There's no
just-
arguing with you, so I did send a letter to Amy and I spoke to her on the phone.
Right, no,
With some of the stuff
talking
that,
about what you just said,
No, I know.
not about what you just said. Okay.
And the fact of the matter is that only the people perhaps sitting around this table understand the process, and there are people watching, so I wanted to explain what it means to have an outstanding violation, just like you wanted to explain what it means to have a closed violation. So we're really just trying to share information here.
Right, and they can listen to the tape from last night to hear my version of what you just talked about. So anyway, I just don't understand why there's flagging and there's like other things other than the southeast corner.
that was one of the things I clarified with her and when Victor brought last time. So what she's calling flagging was windblown litter from, basically windblown litter that's coming from the working face. That was on there, that we got rainstorms, it gets held down. So we had temp labor come out, and we picked all that up and it all went away. So I clarified, I mean, it's been corrected, and I, was able to prove that it wasn't like exposed waste because there was no cover. It was just
Let's
stuff
hope
that
it
was on
doesn't
top.
show up in the next report then.
Yeah, I should.
There's just simple little things like that when in the landfill shouldn't be in reports, not with your experience.
Good.
So I just feel that there should be more attention paid to these things. I totally understand the southeast corner with the wells and the digging. I totally understand that. And, so I just wanted to go on record for that.
Yep.
Seems like I'm forgetting something else.
Well, we have
Oh, the
we
birds.
skipped there's
The birds.
yeah, vultures, section 7, so I guess if you wanna go ahead
Yeah,
and
and I guess, could we, pictures? Thank you. Well, while she's doing that, I just want to say that I did have a conversation with Roger Bellis about the birds, and it is considered a complaint for the DEP. And people can call the odor complaint number to register a complaint if there's vultures on their property. If you find a dead one, they're considered I don't have my notes, Jay, an endangered Pennsylvania. Do you remember what the words?
They're protected under the Federal
They're protected,
Migratory
thank
Bird
you.
Act.
And, you can't just get rid of them, they're protected species. But if you find a dead one in your yard, we're supposed to call the game commission, and let them know, and supposedly they should come out and look at the bird and, determine if they know if it was diseased or whatever, so they can, keep notes on that. So I think that's important to say. So, these pictures were all taken, in last summer, in 2024. So, this was not prior to January 1st of 25. As you can see, if that was your property, you wouldn't be happy about that. Have you seen these pictures, Esther?
Do you want to, for the record, document what the addresses of the properties are, which these?
Yeah, I can do that.
Great.
Let's see. Okay, I gotta scroll through and find the picture. I might not have all, no, wait, stick on one picture.
Well, I mean, if you wanna go through them together, do you want it on the record, or do you wanna do it after?
No, I have them on.
I know, but I can print this out and grade it on here and include it, how do you want, you know what I mean, like I can
I'd
print
like you
these
to start
out.
with the first one, and there are only a couple, I can.
I put all of them together, you send some in.
All right, okay, I know, so we have duplicates, I'm sure. All right, let's start. All right, let me just go back to what's today. Well, that probably, rather than wasting time, I think I like your idea. We'll look at the
All right, I'll
pictures
write them.
and I'll
Send them
match them
out.
up to the,
So, just to be clear, so the photos will have the date that they were taken and the address at which they were taken.
they were either June or July of last year.
Just, if we're gonna put the information on after the fact, I just wanna confirm it will be the date and the address.
I know the church is very obvious.
Right, that I know.
That's obvious. So, all right, so this is a concern, and, people are not happy about it, and I don't know what you guys can do to help. I don't know, because they're everywhere, so.
Well, we're in communication with DEP about the complaints that have been received. We haven't received any evidence that they're related to landfill operations. There's been no change in the way that we operate the landfill. If you look at the, host municipal inspection reports, the DEP solid waste inspection reports, the engineering reports, there's sporadic notations of birds at the landfill. I think 2 or 3 notations of vultures at the landfill. we obviously acknowledge that they're in the area, but there are, you know, we would love to help with the situation, but we're complying with our nuisance and inundation control plan. You know, DEP is not noting that there's an issue with respect to our operations and this bird issue that people are experiencing. So, you know, we're obviously, we want to address any issues. We want to be a good neighbor, and we're in communications with DEP. But there, you know, nothing has changed about our operations, you know, over the decades with respect to this issue.
Right, but now we're starting to see the vultures in the DEP reports, correct? Or was that just your?
There were
That's just me.
4
That was just yours.
notations,
I
yeah.
appreciate you noting that.
Yeah, because it came up, I don't know, a year ago maybe, and I think that's when it started.
Well, this has been ongoing for at least 10 years, at least,
But
because.
yeah, I'm just saying, that it came up at one of our meetings, and that's when I was asked to add that, and I started doing that, you know, like, those observations.
Thank you. And at one point, a while ago, there's a fence by where the old, power, electric plant was. There was
Oh, yeah.
on private property, and the birds were all like sitting there. So I don't know where that picture is, but that was 8 to 10 years ago. So they've been around, and,
The birds are native to the area.
I don't know if
they're
it's
going to
native,
be
because
safe.
I've lived here since 1985, and I don't really think that they're native, my opinion. So, I know you're defending your company,
So-
and as we do get paid to sit here and do.
Priscilla, just to clarify, I did talk to, I think it was the ag department, they came out for a study that we were having done for application and needed, that they're native to the area, and as things warm up, they do come further north, but he did say that they are native and they do live in the area.
They are destroying people's roofs, so they are doing that. So
Right.
I've gotten complaints from at least 2 different people.
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep an eye on it.
All right, I'm just bringing it up,
Heard.
representing my people.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, I think that's all I have. Do you guys have?
Well, I guess just to close out the report, there's nobody from Archaea present. Nobody from the PFAS plant. So I guess we can go on to, public comment.
Donna Louder. In the report for the DEP, it mentions the need for additional flood capacity.
Yeah, it's,
It's not, oh, okay. Sorry.
Anyway, my question to you is there any consideration for this? And I know that in your report, it says that you weren't running at all because the plant was running the way it was supposed to run. But when they do go down, being the DEP had mentioned an additional flare, is there any consideration for it?
For the additional flare? Yes, there is, yeah, we have the talks with them, it was just extended to the end of this year. But it's a conversation, that's where Amy, the last one, I think he noted it at the end, that she brought that up. So it's where she brought it up, but they also approved the extension to the end of the year, so. But we're working with Archaea on that, right now, we have plenty of capacity, so if the plant goes down, we can handle all the gases there.
Right, I understand that, I'm just saying like for future issues
Right.
as you grow.
Yeah.
Just want to say thank you for that explanation on the 2/8/24, because that was one of my questions as well. That's pretty much it. There have been the vultures in the neighborhood. They tend to show up on trash days, and unfortunately we have multiple trash days in Still City. And sometimes you don't see them at all. Like this week for trash day, there was none around us. There was none at the church because I've been keeping an eye on it. So personally, I saw them early spring, and I don't know if that's part of their nesting stuff, yeah, migration, whatever. But that's when they were in excess. And now it's been very sporadic that they've been around. My cousin who lives across the street from the church I said something to her, and she goes, they've always been there. And she's been living there for over 50-some years. So, I mean, it's just something that maybe we just didn't pay attention to. But, all right, thank you.
Lynn Hill. I have just a couple of questions regarding the gas plant. I have an attachment here that was part of the May 12th DEP inspection report. And I'm just gonna come over and give you a copy of it. I just want to understand what the headings mean and how to interpret this information.
Yeah, so the MMBTU is that's the quality, right? That's what they get, the energy that's created as they burn the gas. The inlet MCF, so like how we, track it in SCFM, they track it in MCF, which is just a different, I mean, you can convert it. And then the inlet N2 is the nitrogen that's coming in. And then the inlet methane is the methane that's coming in. That's the quality of the gas. So the higher the number, the better the quality for them. And then the hours in the pipe is how long they're taking gas. So like where you see where it's 22.97 hours in pipe, that means they were probably shut down for an hour or two.
Okay, can you just go back to inlet MCF? What is that?
That's how they measure the the quantity of the gas.
Is
So
that
we measure
thousand
ours in-
cubic feet? MCF? Is that what that
I
means?
don't know. So, I've always dealt with it in SCFM, so we just stand.
Just a different view of, measurement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, because we use SCFM, which is standard meter cubic feet as it goes to the pipe. They're just using MCF, which is the same exact thing, except they're taking out the S part, the scheduled part. That's
Okay. And when they're scrubbing the landfill gas to prepare it to go into the pipeline, what method do they use?
From my understanding, there's a filtration portion, and then they have a tox flare, which burns off certain impurities, then goes through another filtration process, and then whatever cannot be sent down the pipeline due to pressure readings is what gets flared off on their canister.
Thank you.
Tina Wortley, I'm here, so I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing. I'm on the north side, so I can see what's happening.
Closer to your,
So I see you're working in the middle now, which is, I guess, cell 2.
Yeah, we're in the process of constructing that.
Because I was having a lot of complaints with cell 1 because it's pretty angled over there.
Mhm.
And I can actually see the flagging coming down on the mountain onto the north side. And I think you guys have cleaned that up. It looks a lot better. You know, I think all that dirt you guys shifted over there.
Yeah.
I do see it go back there sometimes, and I feel like, you know, I could see like the topography, and it's definitely high, so I'm pretty sure you're done with that. But it
We're
seems like
pretty
you
close.
kind of go back there, because there's still a tipper there. I still feel like it seems like you go back there.
Yeah, because that's so as we fill, right, so we fill it like 15 to 20 foot lifts. So as we build up, we'll build across, and then we'll go back up, and then go back over, and then up until we get to the final elevation. So
It's
we're,
pretty high, right? It's pretty.
we're at the, pretty much the last step right now, which is we're
Okay.
constructing that in our team.
I do see, you know, when it rains hard, I can see what you're talking about, the flagging, how it kind of gets exposed. So like Friday, it rained hard, and then Saturday morning, I think I saw some exposure. And I guess I was wondering, like on a Saturday morning, instead of like bringing more trucks in, which they were piling in, like, could you not focus on maybe covering up all that flagging from like the night before? You know what I mean? Like, couldn't you almost like close down shop and like just take care of like what happened from the night before? Because I know you're aware of it, you know.
Yeah.
You know when it rains hard, it's gonna happen.
Right, and then we see it, so we,
And then that's when the mulch
They
is
do
down.
repair, yeah, right. So-
Because I see them flying around, and they do come to the north side, and I do have them in my neighborhood, but they stay pretty high. They do go in the houses sometimes, but just here and there, not too bad. But I could see them flying around the circle, you know, on top of where you're working. But I don't know, my suggestion, I just thought, like, on that Saturday morning, I saw these trucks coming, and I thought, why aren't they working on, bringing the dirt and kind of covering up the flagging rather than just taking more garbage?
Yeah, I mean, we're working on all of it, right? Because there's even, so if you see it on that side, we have issues on the other side potentially, so,
Right.
it's,
I mean, is there a time you could just like say, no garbage, we've gotta like do construction, we have to take care of what's happening? Like, does it work like that or no? You know what I mean, like there's,
I mean,
what do you call it, there's probably a time where you have to do some repairs, where you have to just do some downtime. Like in your week, hey,
yeah, I mean, again,
on a Saturday,
we do it all.
like,
We do
no
it all.
garbage on a Saturday, if that's the day we're gonna just clean up, or do all the things that you maybe have these outstanding things, like, just take that day. to
Yeah, I mean,
just do-
that's a weird question, you're basically asking business not to make money, so.
Yes.
The work is ongoing, I mean, it's not as if the work.
I mean, that's a weird, if
I mean,
you owned your own shop and you would just shut down, just,
Yeah.
I
I mean, it's 7 days, it's 6 days a week, I mean, if you could dedicate some time to.
mean, that's the thing.
I mean, to
we
make
do
it
that,
better,
right?
because
So,
it is bringing the vultures when there's exposed garbage, and, I feel like if that was covered, because I do see it covered, and then you use that white cover sometimes
The tarp.
versus the dirt, so not always do you use the white tarp, and I guess, what's the difference between using the white tarp?
Depends on, like, whatever the conditions are, they permit, if we know we're gonna get a lot of rain, if it's windy, we won't use the tarp, we use soil, because the tarp will blow off, and then it's really exposed, so we use dirt on those days. And then also too, for a final grade, like, so as we build those lift cells, explaining to you, when we get to that final elevation or grade, at that point, then we'll cover it with dirt, because that's gonna be like our new pad and new road now.
So like the other thing I get a little concerned about, and I don't know if there's studies or if anybody looked into this, but we all know there's unlined cells that are underneath the realignment.
Mhm.
And I guess, I'm concerned is as we're pushing down all this, new garbage, is that, are we bringing up really old, scary, garbage gases from like the old landfill?
No, most of those areas are depleted from the gas, like the gas quality and generation is extremely low, because it is so old. So, and then as far as leachate or anything else goes, so as we build new cells and we're actually lining above it, so it'll, if anything, it will lessen a lot of that, because there's no more moisture getting in, so the leachate content will go down. So it's actually better for that part of it by having these new cells on top.
And are you planning on doing that earthen wall that you did on the south side, kind of in the front of the north side? 'Cause I know
Yeah,
you're
so
talking
for
about
that corner
doing
there, the northwest corner of that.
Is that coming?
Yeah, eventually.
Just because I think that would help, hold things, I would think, hold things in and back.
Yep.
All right. And will there be any final, like, will I see any grass on that NS, whatever, the cell
That's
one?
northern realignment, yeah, so once we get the final grade.
Like on that one, the first one, like you'll do that, like as you go? You
Yep.
won't wait until like cell two's complete, you'll actually put grass seed and stuff soon?
Yep, yeah, we're doing it, I mean, we actually hydro seeded the one side.
Oh, okay.
And that's a capping sequence that has been approved by DEP. So before we build, we have to tell them exactly what we're doing and when we're doing it.
Okay. So, I mean, obviously, we know vultures are part of the area, but they're obviously carrying them, and they eat, dead things, and they eat garbage, so we know when they're around. They're around because it's garbage, so it's not rocket science, but it would be nice to be able to control them. I don't see them that much, but I do hear a lot of problems with them, and they can destroy the roofs, and I've seen them, around. I assume they carry diseases and all that yucky stuff, so anything you could do to help, that would be great. And of course, always planting more trees would be, I always say that, can we plant more trees? And I think you can, because I do see it in the center, like where your building is, I see them growing there.
Right.
But I do see a lot of, I see if the landfill gets higher, it looks lower, and I'm sure some of them fall, but as they fall, I assume you probably wanna plant some too, not wait until like everything's complete before you do it. I mean, is it like a process?
Yeah, everything has steps and there's different parts of the construction, so they're usually in a timeline.
I just, just kind of remember that the entire north side of the world can see everything. And, anything you can do to make it, better for everybody.
I do try
And I
to
know
go
you,
check it.
I know, it's not like you wanna make this terrible for us, but I see it every day, you know, and I've said it before, it's, you know, it does affect my daily life, and everybody in Bethlehem Township sees it on that side from 33 on. So, you know, trees, grass, anything, you know, anything for the smells. It's been pretty stinky. I think the weather is not great, and it's pretty hot and stinky, and it kind of just stagnates there. Very, very gassy the past couple nights. I have called. I don't know if I call you guys, but it was after hours, so I did call. So it's been strong. I think the humidity, it just kind of lingers. So, you know, I just get nervous. It's like you're breathing that in, and besides the stink, you're thinking, is this affecting my health? You know, since I know you're there all the time, but it can't be good for us to be breathing it in. So, it's just concerning. That's just why I'm here.